After.Life. After.Life is a 2009 horror/thriller film with some very peculiar characteristics. Unlike many similar films where the viewer expects a clear explanation covering every detail and fitting everything into a single logical thread, this film is specifically designed to allow the viewer to choose how to interpret it. Because, essentially, there are two ways to view and interpret the film. Plot. Elliot Deacon owns a funeral home and often speaks gently to the corpses as he prepares them for burial. Anna Taylor, a schoolteacher, meets Elliot when she attends her piano teacher's funeral. That night, Anna has an argument with her boyfriend, Paul, at a restaurant and leaves the table. She drives in a state of distress and is involved in a car accident. She wakes up to find herself on an embalming table in the funeral home, and sees Elliot cutting her clothes and telling her she has died. He tells Anna she has a gift, the ability to hear the dead. Elliot owns a collection of photographs of deceased people he has helped transition. Elliot regularly injects Anna with a fictitious drug called bromide hydrate to relax the muscles and prevent rigor mortis. Paul arrives at the funeral home and asks to see Anna's body, but Elliot denies him entry, claiming he's not related. Anna tries to escape several times, without success. Elliot tells her she needs to allow herself to leave, to step away from life, and that she's never truly lived. Finally, Anna manages to flee the embalming room and finds a telephone. She calls Paul, who can't hear her, and hangs up, thinking it's a joke. Anna begins to believe Elliot when she sees her reflection in a mirror, which shows her a gruesome appearance. One of Anna's students sees her and alerts Paul, who begins to suspect she's still alive. Jack, Anna's student, visits the funeral home, and Elliot tells him they both share a gift, the same one Jesus had when he raised Lazarus, and offers to teach him more. The boy accepts and is later seen burying a chick, apparently alive, in a box. During the final preparations for her funeral, Anna asks Elliot to see her one last time. Elliot hands her a hand mirror, and as she looks at her reflection, Anna notices the condensation of her breath on the mirror, accusing Elliot of lying to her about being dead. Elliot injects her once more, and she falls unconscious. At the funeral, Paul places an engagement ring on her finger, the one he had intended to give her the night of the accident. After the funeral, Paul drinks heavily and becomes aggressive with Elliot, who challenges him to see for himself if Anna is still alive, telling him that there isn't much time left. Meanwhile, Anna wakes to the sound of shovels throwing dirt onto her coffin. She screams and scratches at the satin lining. Paul drives quickly to the cemetery, still under the influence of alcohol. Later, they are seen embracing, and Anna tells Paul that she has always loved him. Paul hears a strange sound and asks Anna what it is. She replies that it's the sound of Elliot's gloves and scissors preparing his body. He then appears in the embalming room, with Elliot preparing his body as he had previously prepared Anna's. Elliot explains that he never made it to the cemetery, having died in an accident on the way. Paul tries to tell him that he is alive, and Elliot inserts an embalming trocar into his torso. Explanation. Anna argues with Paul and immediately gets in her car, where she has an accident. Coincidentally, Anna's body arrives at Elliot's funeral home. And it's here that something paranormal occurs. Elliot has the power to speak with the dead. But a cold and dark demeanor is noticeable on Elliot's face when he talks to Anna. Elliot tells Anna that she is dead, but obviously she doesn't believe him. So what happens next in the film is Elliot's task of convincing Anna that she is dead, and her fate rests with her. But to understand this, let's look at the explanation. The film drops enough hints to suggest that Anna is, in fact, dead. On the other hand, there are enough clues pointing in the direction that Elliot is simply lying and that he can't communicate with the dead. Every time you lean one way, you find plot details that pull you in the other direction. Elliot is a character who has grown tired of people living empty and meaningless lives. He has made it his life's mission to eliminate these people. Anna is seen attending her piano teacher's funeral at the beginning. Elliot has organized this funeral. He sees Anna. Perhaps he has been watching her. Later, Anna has a pointless argument with Paul and becomes angry with him. In the rain, she drives and is extremely distracted. Notice Elliot taking his car out to refuel later. It's the same vehicle. See the image below. This suggests that Elliot was driving and honking behind her. Elliot causes Anna's accident. What happens off-screen is this: because he's at the scene of the accident before anyone else, he has time to inject Anna with a drug that slows her pulse to almost zero. The paramedics at the scene eventually pronounce her pulseless and transport her to the funeral home, which is exclusively owned by Elliot. Why that funeral home? Well, perhaps given his well-known circle of people, he's the most obvious choice. Elliot feels the following, and even tells it later in the film to that boy, Jack, "Don't you see? I have no choice. I'm the only one who can see all these corpses wandering the earth aimlessly. All they do is urinate and defecate, choking us with their stench, doing nothing with their lives, taking the air out of those who truly want to live. I have to bury them all. I have no choice." What he means here is that he considers aimless people to be almost dead. He feels they're better off underground, 6 feet under. But on the precipice of life turning into death, Elliot wants to know if these people can change. By putting people in a situation and convincing them they're crossing over, Elliot wants to see if some of them can change and embrace life more fully. Or if they agree, cower, and consider themselves better off dead. As a murderer, perhaps he's the one giving his victims one last chance. Elliot has drugged Anna enough to ensure she can't feel anything, not even her own pulse. She even asks why she can't feel anything. He's also put enough makeup on Anna to make her look like a corpse. But she's not dead yet, she's alive. She looks in the mirror and slowly resigns herself to the fact that she's actually dead. The drugs make her hallucinate, but none of the paranormal things happening to Anna are real. It's all in her mind, and the drugs are adding to it. Elliot offers Anna one last chance. He offers her the opportunity to get up and leave. He asks her, "Isn't this what you wanted?" As Anna begins to leave, the fear of living life frightens her enough to keep her in the room. This fear is what is shown to us as the scene with the old woman and Paul standing while Anna is strangled. Anna wakes up, still in the funeral home, and says, "No." Elliot says, "I thought you were different. You all say you're afraid of death. But the truth is, you're more afraid of life." Elliot is truly giving Anna that chance, but he is disappointed that she chooses death. She says, "I'm glad I'm dead. I'm glad it's over." Perhaps the others Elliot deals with accept that they are dead much faster, perhaps Anna fights much harder. But in the end, she too is too afraid to give life a chance. Paul isn't allowed to see Anna after her death. He's not yet engaged to her and therefore isn't family. He's experiencing a lot of guilt. Anna's mother doesn't seem to like it and tells him he shouldn't have let her drive in that weather. All the images of the dead Anna holding her heart and the head nodding selectively are things that manifest in his own mind. These are happening because of his guilt. They aren't paranormal activity. Anna tries to call Paul, but only hears static. This could be because Elliot tapped the phone or simply bad luck. As Paul tries to come to terms with Anna's death, Jack, one of her students, approaches him and tells him he saw Anna by the window in a red dress. Later, a mannequin wearing a red slip reminds Paul that Anna was wearing it the morning of the accident. Paul begins to think Anna is alive and tries to confront Elliot, but to no avail. Anna overhears Paul at Elliot's house, but she's convinced she's dead and needs to move on. Paul tries to work with the police to get a warrant to search Elliot's house, but the police don't believe him. Anna was declared dead because there was no heartbeat or pulse. One of the officers says he saw Anna and that she was dead. The other officer says, "There are drugs like that, boss, hydronium bromide. Total paralysis in seconds. The heartbeat slows to almost nothing." This part here gives some insight into what's really happening with Anna. But Paul has no support, he has to retreat. Jack is a bit dark. He has this fascination with death, with dead and dying things. While the film leads us to believe that Jack has powers, he's just a child with an inexplicable fascination. The chick Jack has is a dying chick, not yet dead. Jack is trying to care for it so it can regain its health. When Jack sees Anna at the funeral home, he naturally assumes he sees Anna dead. This is what he tries to tell Paul. Later, when Elliot meets Jack, he tells him not to fear his gift. This part is quite bad. Elliot sees a bit of himself in Jack and agrees to help him. Later, we see Jack bury the chick alive in a box. Elliot has convinced Jack that he needs to bury beings that are incapable of living. The chick may be clinically alive, but somehow it's unwilling to heal and get better. This gives Jack the reason to consider the chick dead and bury it. Elliot has a successor now. So Anna is alive. Elliot has convinced her she's dead. He gives her a chance to live, and she refuses. She wants to see herself one more time before the funeral. Elliot shows her the mirror. Anna breathes on the mirror, and it fogs up. This has happened before, but Anna doesn't notice. Only Elliot does. She realizes that Elliot has been lying to her. The dead can't breathe warm air. But it's too late, she's had her chance. Elliot drugs her, and the funeral ceremony begins. Paul arrives to see Anna, who appears to be dead. He touches her and reacts by saying how cold she is. Anna tries to wake up but can't because of the drug. This also happens in the first scene with the piano teacher. Elliot closes the lid. They bury the coffin. After this, Anna wakes up and realizes she's been buried alive. Paul is dazed, confused, and filled with guilt. But he's also full of suspicion about Elliot. After drinking heavily, Paul confronts Elliot. Elliot provokes him, saying, "Maybe she's still alive. You obviously don't believe a word I say. So why don't you go and find out for yourself? Find out if she's alive or dead." Paul panics and starts driving toward the cemetery. He's very drunk and can't drive properly. He's speeding and overtaking. Elliot expected this, which is why he provoked Paul. Paul comes across an accident. The accident isn't shown. Instead, we see Paul driving down an empty street, arriving at the cemetery, and rescuing Anna from her grave. This part is only in Paul's head. In reality, Paul is hit by an SUV on the blind turn. Elliot, who is following him, catches up to Paul and injects him with the magic drug. The key difference you'll notice is that Elliot has no intention of leading Paul through the treatment he's giving Anna. Paul is suspicious of Elliot and, therefore, isn't going to fall for anything Elliot has to say. Elliot knows this. Earlier, when Anna wakes up on Elliot's table, she's been given an anesthetic. She can't feel anything. No pain, no pulse, nothing. However, Paul hasn't been given this. Elliot takes a long pipe and stabs Paul, killing him. Paul screams in agony and dies. Elliot can now return to what he does best. Oh, and Jack is involved in this killing too. That's all, goodbye.